So we are going to talk about this um, because not a lot of people are fully aware of this. Why am I getting okay? Not a lot of people really know about this, about the twindividual, not an individual thing. So we're going to talk about that right now, and we're going to jump into it. So we as people, as beings, are a twindividual. We have two inside of us, the feminine and masculine, or the potential and kinetic, if you want to think about it energetically. And within the twindividual and individual, uh, there are a lot of awarenesses that need to be brought. So to talk about it, we're going to start with the feminine aspect of being a twindividual, or the passive aspect, the receiving aspect, the what else would fit that? The receptive, the feminine, the why is the word not coming to my mind? I literally had it in there for a second and it flew out. But anyway, the current where the flow hits you, the water side. There we go, the nurturing side. Jesus Christ, my words are not working right now for many reasons. Um, Mainly because I'm on TikTok as well as YouTube, and I haven't been on both platforms for a while. So we're checking and scoping it back out. But anyway, the twindividual on the feminine aspect is the aspect of you that receives. And this rule that I'm going to say also applies to the masculine aspect. You have your pessimistic and your optimistic elements within the feminine as well as you do in the masculine. So your pessimistic for your feminine would be receiving a feeling of doubt, receiving a feeling of lack, um, receiving a feeling of Cain, of not being able to, a feeling of self betrayal, a feeling of being drained, a feeling of being taken advantage of, anything that would objectify you feeling like you are in a lower aspect for your twin individualistic feminine side is what you're looking at. Then for your optimistic side, you're looking more at what you are giving, what you are receiving, excuse me. No, yeah. So this is where it kind of gets a little bit complicated. What you are receiving into yourself. What are you allowing to be a motivator for you? What is the inspiration that is causing you to have forward moment? But your feminine, you can also use the word inspiration since that word came up as well. Your feminine aspect of your twin individual is your inspiration. What has inspired you, or what has allowed spirit in motion to be in motion through you? Moving from that, you get your masculine of your twin individual, which your pessimistic for your masculine element would be how are you acting with that pessimism? Are you being in doubt? Are you being in lack? Are you forcing yourself in a spot where you don't feel like you can escape? Do you have feelings of fear? Do you have feelings or even actions, excuse me, less feelings, but actions of fear, actions of doubt, actions of lack, actions of even anger? So being aware of that is very important. Your optimistic for your masculine is what am I receiving physically from this? What am I building with this? How am I being able to construct further? How am I motivating possibly other people with that? But your twin individual aspect, when looking at it from a view of who you are, you need to see what's inspiring you and how you're moving forward. And there's a lot of mechanics that work in between these two realms. You can have a very optimistic feminine, but somehow, some way within the translation from that feminine to the masculine, you then create more doubt. Because after any feminine element, the masculine falls after. So yes, you might be inspired with that feminine element, but with that inspiration or with that spirit moving through you, you now have a masculine or a motive to create. And that motive could be, well, I can't do this. This is a good idea, but I can't do it because XYZ. So then you say that. That what you say and think then begins to nurture you. So what your masculine does is revert back to that feminine or give a call back to that feminine. And then after that, you literally begin to act off of that nurturing. So you not having the benefit of knowing that your twin individualistic input outputs are broken is why a lot of people are failing in today's life. You need to be aware of what is nurturing you. And because we operate backwards, usually with most people, because most people who aren't aware of these things won't know where this process starts. They'll see it from an outside. Oh, the things around me aren't what I want them to be. So that means that I'm not being nurtured properly, which means that my actions don't mean anything, which means that maybe I shouldn't do anything, which means I'm not going to do anything, or something along those lines. But it does not start from that physical output, it starts from the internal. And the only thing that changes is your awareness of that external and internal. Being more aware of who you are, being more aware of why you act certain ways, why you are this way you are now and why you didn't used to be years before. A lot of people have, they clench their jaws a lot. Is that something that you always used to do, or is that something that you have been conditioned into due to what you have been nurturing externally? Nurturing the internal stress and then allowing that to become a physical issue or a body issue is that first stage where it happens. And to revert it back to there is a big help. Some people think that their business is failing and that they're not able to get where they need to get in life, or that they are under attack because they are nurturing internally that feeling of, oh, this isn't what I need to change something, and not knowing what to change, they then suspect or believe or convince themselves or convince themselves to think that it's an external rather than an internal. This is where you have to really know a lot about physics, the elements of how energy works, inertia. An object in motion will stay in motion and still stopped by a force, but an unstoppable object will not be stopped by an unstoppable force. They will phase through each other. So you need to make yourself an unstoppable force so that these objects or circumstances, people, places, things, whatever, barricades, don't stop you, that you phase through them and are only stalled for such a small amount of time that it's not even really recorded. Of course, on the physical, you'll see these little roadblocks and you'll be like, okay, well, I'm going through a drought here. But that doesn't mean that your motion has to completely stop or that your direction has to switch. It's all about just knowing that you, as that twin individual, can move forward so that you can see what you're needing to do on the physical with the energy you already have left in reserve. Sometimes that energy is needed to be used for rest. Sometimes that energy is needed to be used for work. Sometimes it's needed to be used for brainstorming or planning. Sometimes it's needed to be used to ask for help. But you need to figure out how to use that energy in a beneficial way and not allow that pure state of energy to be corrupted or perverted in any way, shape, or form by a pre action, which would be your thoughts. I don't think many people think they had to take notes in this stream, but please, if you need to take notes, we'll be talking about this stuff. We will be talking about it in a depth that not many people will ever talk about it. But you need to be aware of that connection, that communication between your feminine and your masculine. For instance, let's say that you are hungry and you are at um you're looking for foods like I just want something quick to eat, so I'll make a sandwich. But while you're looking for a sandwich, you also find noodles. But you know that you want a sandwich rather than noodles because it's just something that you need to have. That whole process of you seeing those noodles activates something in your brain to make you want noodles now instead of wanting to make the sandwich. So you make the noodles and you still want to make the sandwich after the noodles, but you can't make the sandwich now because you've already dirtied up all your dishes to make those noodles, right? To understand that, and what I'm talking about with the feminine and masculine is the feminine gives you the idea, hey, you're hungry. So the masculine or the thinking process says, let's go get that sandwich. The feminine gives you the energy to move up and go make that sandwich. And it gives you enough energy and enough supply to go get that sandwich, create it, and eat it to be refueled for your next task because that is what your feminine is giving you the energy to do, or that is the energy that you are receiving from the divine to do, right? You then, when you're searching in that masculine energy, see the noodles and get a new thought that you bring back to that feminine element. And when you bring it back to that feminine element, I need you to just stop, Bunny. That has nothing to do with what I'm saying. This is just an example because I'm trying to make it easy and simple. Don't big brain this, okay? Pipe, calm down, sit. Don't try to exaggerate this. You're thinking about the wrong things. You're not paying attention. You're not paying. Just pay attention to what I'm saying instead of worrying about that other stuff. This has nothing to do with me. Again, why do people do this? You try to talk and get people to use their brain and they all of a sudden don't use their brain correctly. I don't get where that miscommunication happens. I really don't. Anyway, getting back to it is when you're looking for those noodles, well for the materials for the sandwich, your brain sees the noodles, tells the feminine, "Hey, there's this I can get." The feminine's not going to tell you no, but it's going to remind you of the original purpose, which was, hey, we're doing this for a sandwich, not noodles. Somewhere in the mistranslation between getting noodles and you knowing that the energy that you're getting is for those noodles, you then decide to get the sandwich. I see my brain's all fucked up now because you're trying to get the sandwich. Your brain switches it up to get the noodles instead. So then you go get the noodles instead of the sandwich, which takes different energy. It takes more energy out of you, or would have taken more energy out of the supply you got from the divine to do that. So then you use more energy up making those noodles than you would have making the sandwich, due to you doing a completely different process. In the back of your mind, what is still processing and generating is I still wanted to make that sandwich. Maybe I can make the sandwich with the noodles. You're now using that energy that would have been given back to you or refueled when making that sandwich on the aspect of um, using it with the noodles now. So all that energy is being spent up in your mind. You're losing more and more of that resource that you were originally given. So now you need to make those noodles because that's the reserve of that energy that you have. Once you make those noodles and complete them, you're not replenished enough. So now you have to go back to the feminine and be like, what can I do to get more energy? And it's going to be another task that drains you more and then gives you just a little bit back. You'll always have that lacking energy. Now, some people within their mind, if they can reason with themselves, if they can talk with themselves, would either talk themselves out of making the noodles or just talk themselves into making both, or however. But then again, that takes a supply within the mental, within the communication of proper communication between the masculine and feminine inside of your mind. That is what you have to understand and see. When you are given ideas, they are fueled with enough energy for that specific thing. A lot of people aren't following the instructions that they say. They say, I'm going to go take a shower. And after I get out of that shower, I'm going to do this, this, and that. And they don't do any of those three things that they said they were going to do. They're like, oh, I'm going to take a shower. Then I'm going to clean my room. I'm going to brush my teeth. And then I'm going to go to bed. Instead of doing any of those things, they get on their phone, they make food, and then they watch TV. They don't use their energy correctly. So now whenever they do receive energy, it's to make up for what they've already spent it on. That's how we work in this in this whole access of being human. When we are aware of this twin individual conversation, we are less apt to go against what we originally planned because we know that we're being told from a pure place, that feminine, divine feminine aspect within us, to not overspend that energy, to not go over that barrier. But as it says in Jack and Jill, Jill will always come tumbling after. Your heart will always follow you because it's not going to discard you. It's not going to tell you no. That's something that the mind does. The mind is going to be that distraction point. You have to make sure that your mind is safe from the aspect inside yourself to not go off plan. Your brain likes to break things apart and dissect things. So, in that time of breaking things apart and breaking things down, you need to be able to see the process of, why am I expending more on this than I'm desiring to do? Your goal is to go outside and walk your dog. Then why is it that before you go walk your dog, you then spend a lot of energy being stressed out and worried? Oh, what if this happens? What if that happens? What if you didn't worry about those things? What if you didn't ruin that future experience by expending energy on things that wouldn't matter? You want to start that business or go, start that music career, but you're afraid of doing so because XYZ. Oh, what if no one likes it? What if no one follows all these things? What if I can't do this? What if I don't like it? Then why are you expending your energy? If you're gonna ask all these otherwise, also ask yourself, why am I expending all this energy on these ideas that did not originally come with that first idea that you had? That's how your brain will work. Your brain will always, or not always, but it will try its best to counteract you, to make you think that, or make you falsely feel, I should say, that there is an obstacle that you are unaware of. When in actuality, if you were following that heart aspect, that heart place, you would know that there is no need um, for that. There's no need for that lack. There's no need for that um, deprivation, for back like a better term, because you would understand, not understand, but understand that your heart has already seen those issues and has chosen still to say you can do this. Why is it that inside of your mind it breaks apart? Why is it that inside your mind it goes against that plan, goes against that grain, and creates an obstacle for you? It's because there is poor translation in between from the feminine and masculine internals. From that heart space, the feminine, to the mind, the masculine, there is a mistranslation. Because the masculine, when it has to do these things, will break it down into steps instead of just seeing the plan. The steps are what the divine help you with. All it needs is for you to agree. You agree to your fears. What is going on with that? Anyway, hold on. Let me get something. Is there a way to not have that pop up at all? Because I am not trying to go live with no one. I don't know why the fuck that's even happening. Why these bots are popping up like that. I'm not trying to join a live with no one. Ain't no one have any time for that. But I know who's doing it, unfortunately. But that's what you have to see. That's what you have to know is that a mistranslation between the feminine and masculine. Why that's happening. Why the masculine has to break down. Because you would agree to yourself that something would scare you or something would uh, make you have anxiety. You would agree to that, but you would not agree to the fact that it shouldn't cause you anxiety or it's not causing you anxiety. Why is it so easy for you to do that? Why has your brain been conditioned? Why has your brain been breeded and trained by you to do those things? And the reason why it's by you is because you've allowed some form of force externally to halt your own internal progress. Or maybe this is just a DNA thing where your own DNA needs to be seen and where you would need to do work on your own self by daily practices. But you need to see, how were you before these things? How were you before middle school? How were you before high school? How were you before elementary school? Go back to those times. How were you before college? How were you before this and that? And see when you left those places or events, what chemically changed inside of your mind to prevent things from the past that you don't want to still come forward, or to prevent boundaries from being broken to be still broken now. You have to see those things. That's that process. The heart does not want you to follow those things, but it will only nurture what you feed into it. So if your mind is telling your heart, hey, this gives you anxiety, and then your gut, which is your consciousness and your subconscious and your unconsciousness, I mean your unconscious and your subconscious minds, and it says this is why, because of this energetic event that gave you trauma and blah blah blah. Your heart then goes, okay, that's fair, let me fuel you with this then. That's when they say pay attention to your gut. How can you pay attention to your gut if your gut is not in a right sound position? Your gut needs to release that trauma through the navel, through the belly button, through breathing exercises and meditations on that area, by cleansings of that area. Then, after that, with your solar plexus or your energy where it roots in and where you're able to shine with it, then you can worry about your mental. Because if you're not cleaning that solar plexus or that navel area where you're receiving that energy, where you're receiving that fire at, then when it reaches the top, it's going to be nothing but clouded smoke and smog. It's not going to be able to be proper fuel. It's not going to be able to actually lead you a right way other than confusion. So when the mind then communicates with the heart and says, this is what I got from the gut, and this is what I'm agreeing with the gut, the two come into together to then create a new spirit. That heart opens up that portal for whatever spirit to come out. I hope I'm making sense with that. That's what's going on with that process. I know I'm making sense with that. I mean, I hope that people are able to follow me along with this. I mean, if you're not able to follow along, let me know so I can try and break it down in a different way for you to be able to follow along. Because this is not just for me to get up and blab and talk. This is for education. So if you are confused about the steps of this, do not be afraid to speak up. The only way to get your questions answered is by asking them. But make sure that you're paying attention to what is being said. And I might even ask you a question about your question to make sure you know what you're trying to ask me, so that you're not just asking me something that you are believing you need to ask rather than something that you know you need to ask. But these are the important things. This is what you need to just be aware of in this time. No, that means spirit as in spirit, not spirit as in baby. A baby is a baby. A spirit is a spirit. A spirit can be of any form of agreeable, disagreeable, or one that is of pretending. It can bring in a spirit of agreeance or disagreeance or confusion. I'll leave it as that. Those spirits can be angels and demons, or they can be the Ra, which are the disagreeables or the devils that act like angels. That's what we mean by spirit. We're talking about more of the energy that moves through, like the spirit of anger, the spirit of fear, the spirit of confusion, the spirit of greed, all these things. That's what we're talking about when we say that. I got you. No worries. Just always ask questions because you need to make sure that you're understanding and overstanding what I'm saying because it is confusing to hear if you've never heard it before. And as a teacher of it, I want to be able to explain it to people in any way, shape, and form. Even if I gotta explain it down in simple terms, even if I gotta draw it out on a board, I can and will. So that's something that people have to kind of like. It's like a practice you have to do though daily, making sure that hey, am I really guiding myself correctly, or am I guiding myself off of a false pretense? Which many people have done many times in their life. How many times in your life have you thought this is the right thing to do, and then you do it, and since it wasn't the right thing to do, the consequence or the sequences of cons or the sequences that happen or the events that happen that go against what you originally planned happen. Maybe that wasn't the right thing. Now, what does that really mean, right thing? It wasn't the solution or the response you were looking for. That's all that means. You can do the right thing for yourself, but then receive a wrong uh, a wronging, I should say, on the external, because where you were or around the individuals or twin individuals you were around, they didn't agree with it because it's always a fight between you and yourself before it goes externally. That's the two agreeing, again, internal, agreeing with the external that creates that new response. So being aware of that is going to really change your life because it's going to allow you to see what you're actually doing. Everyone is a twin individual. Everyone has a heart, everyone has a mind. Everyone has those feminine and masculine elements. When you tell someone, hey, I like your shirt, and they look at you and they say, why are you saying that about me? Blah, blah, blah. That's because something inside of them did not agree. The communication between them did not agree. Maybe they're just very confused. They think that now you're going to rob them because they say you had a nice shirt on, or they don't like compliments because they're not used to accepting it. That's something going on between their receptive and their actionatory uh, response system. That's all on them. That has nothing to do with what your actions were, but it just means it was not the right individual. It wasn't the right twin individual. It wasn't the right chemical balance in someone to give you the response that you want, which is why it's important for you to be balanced within your true selves or your twin individuals so that when a opposing response happens, you're balanced in your own. That's what it's talking about when people say being self centered. That's a good thing. Being centered in yourself, being in the center, being in the balance, being in the middle of everything moving around is a good thing to do for yourself. You don't want to be someone that's not centered in self. Where are you centered at? Either in someone else or not centered at all. And both of those are worse than anything. A lot of people end up letting other people dictate their life for them, and they can't do anything, and it sucks for them. Or like, I'll have to say it this way: it's like not liking whenever the elderly are in like a caregiving home, right? Like they don't you don't want like I don't want you to go to a nursing home, but you can't take care of yourself, so you do. And then the people at the nursing home don't take even less care of them. And that's the big thing. There's also a lot of females that close off their masculine side and it becomes toxic. There are a lot of people there's a lot of men that open up their feminine side and become toxic. There's also a lot of feminine that are in their feminine energy and are toxic. If it goes always, it's not a gender specific thing. If you are around a lot of guys that are in an imbalanced feminine energy, guess what? You're in an imbalanced masculine energy because you're either trying to force yourself in an area where you're not supposed to be, or if that's what you're seeing, then you're allowing the masculine aspect of yourself or your mind to draw you towards things that are making that aware of you, which then is saying, hey, this is what you need to fix within yourself so that you are paying less attention or being less dragged to these things and more centered in a place where it belongs, where you can actually belong. Yes, and that's what being in alignment is talking about. Being in alignment is not talking about being aligned with a certain religion or a path. That has nothing to do with it. When you are in alignment, you are in alignment with your true self, with your feminine and masculine energies. When you are in a complete balance of both states and one is not overpowering the other. When you are receiving ideas from the feminine and fuel from the feminine and outputting the exact actions. You say, oh, I'm going to jump 3 times, I'm going to do 5 jumping jacks and 10 push ups. Then you do exactly 10 jumping jacks and 5 push ups. In that order. It would be in that order as well. Doing it out of that order would not be a complete misuse of your energy, but your brain would record, hey, you did this, but you did it backwards. Though that's something good, you still use the energy right. Your brain, how it works, would literally see, I'm not doing this the front way, I'm doing this backwards. So now, whenever you're going forward something else, it will have that cheat sheet of saying, oh, well, you can do it this first and then the other thing. When in actuality, you need to do it by order, you know? And that just comes from overstanding and seeing, like, oh, I might have done this here, but as long as I know mentally that I'm not supposed to do that and, mess up the order of things any other way, I'm fine. You know what I mean? You have to just pay attention. It's all situational, but where is your? I mean, it's all circumstantial, but it's all where it's at. Circumstantial, and it. I mean, yeah, a lot of people do attract a lot of toxic masculines, and it's because you need to look at your own actions. What actions are you doing that are toxic to you? And with you saying love interests, what toxic actions are you doing to yourself that's preventing you from receiving more love? This could simply be you saying or thinking, I don't deserve this, I don't deserve that, or not going through with plans. Like, let's say you're a creative and it's like, oh, I need to make this piece of art. You not making that piece of art or you throwing the art away because you think it's not good enough tells something in your brain, hey, this is not a good idea because you've had to start over like 3 or 4 times. But that's just a test of what you're doing on the physical and seeing, like, are you able to see that we're giving you the energy to keep restarting over too. We're not giving you the energy to do it one time perfectly, but we're giving you the energy as well to start over if you need a few times. Are you going to allow that frustration that you are sensing due to your visual or your masculine to overwhelm that feminine energy and to be expent on that frustration? Or are you going to use that feminine energy to allow you to feel yourself to keep going because you know there's something inside of you telling you to do those things? So meeting a bunch of toxic masculines as a love interest is saying that you're not doing things physically or on the physical or materialistically that are allowing you to receive that love. Materialistically does not mean money, it just means things on the material plane. Okay? I want to make that very clear as well. But then again, there also are just things like patterns that you would put yourself into. If you're putting yourself into patterns all the time, or going after specific individuals or types, that also wires your brain to put yourself in a category where you would meet those people, you know. So you have to watch out about what you're nurturing with that masculine energy. If you're looking for a relationship and you know that, oh, I'm going to attract these guys, I'm going to attract these certain types of people, look at who you attracted in the past and know that that's not what you desire. You will be tested on the physical by those exact individuals. Avoid them. Don't fall for that lust trap, because that's what it ends up being, is a lust trap. Don't fall for it. Allow yourself to be like, no, I deserve better. I know I can get better, so I will get better. And when you do that, when you insert that inside your mind, now your actionatory is moving on like, oh, well, if I'm gonna get better, then let me not pay attention to this. Let me keep moving forward on other things instead. I don't need to be attached to this. I don't need to be attached to that. You pull toxic anything to you when you're not aligned. If you're not aligned with what you truly are going after, you're always going to be aligned with some form of toxicity. You have, and that toxicity can come from yourself, it could come from an outside source, it could come from anywhere. But you're going to align yourself with a lesser, with a more of a doubt, depending on how you're moving. That, being in 100% alignment all the time is possible. Is it difficult? Yeah. Is it possible? 100% it is. It's about making sure that you're putting in that effort. It's the difficulty of it. But that's also the part of growing. It's, a baby can't just pop out the womb and start dancing and doing hopscotch and fucking push-ups and pull-ups and stuff. It has to build the muscles up to even be able to crawl first, right? So that's what you have to do with your muscles with this process. You have to give yourself that grace of humiliation and be like, you know what? Though this is what I'm wanting, this is what I'm struggling with right now. What can I do to show myself that what I'm struggling with right now is not worth what I'm desiring? And I got you. I got you, Palm Angel. It's truly no worries. With you finding them attractive, um, I would honestly say nurture yourself with seeing things in a different way. Instead of nurturing yourself on a masculine sense or on a physical sense with appearances, nurture them based off of energetics, would be their actions. People like to say their intention, but what are their actions in that sense? Are they someone that is nurturing to you, or are they someone that just plays off their looks? Or are you playing yourself off of someone's looks, even though you're being nurtured with the idea or the fuel of, backing away? It's just looking at these things. You can acquire whatever you desire in life. You really can. It's up to you and how you're using the energy that you're being given. You could be like, I want $1 million. Awesome. Here's your plan from the divine of how to get that. If you don't follow it step by step, the way it was given to you by the divine, you're not going to be able to move forward to that $1 million, because maybe that part of you having $1 million is you saving up money, not spending it on this, that, and the other. But here you go, spending it on a few other things that you don't need, but you just want at this time, but it becomes a need because of hyperfixation. Then it becomes, well, now you're not going to have the million. Now you're going to have the $928 that you left with. And it's like, well, it almost worked, but it didn't work. And then that tells your brain that you can't acquire it. So next time you try to, that same cycle repeats. It's rewiring that mind. It is a very difficult terrain, but it is something that literally, once you start, once it clicks with you, it changes. It's like, okay, I see what I'm doing here. And even if you see what you do and you still do and you still go that same path, You're aware. And that's all that matters. Now you're aware of it. Now you're aware of it. Now that pressure is going to be behind it. Oh, I know if I do this, it's not going to benefit me. Exactly. That's what you need to be able to be telling yourself. If I do this, it's not going to help me. I can say no to this spirit that wants me to do this. I can say no to this action that's calling my name. Why don't I say no? And why don't I keep repeating no? Why do I say no and then like, oh, I'll just go ahead and do it. It doesn't matter. It'll be quick. Why do you do that? Why would you lie to yourself by saying that you didn't want it, but then still go after it? Don't take offense to yourself or even to me for pointing that out, but see it, recognize it, acknowledge it, so that next time it happens, you can stop yourself for even a longer time and be like, I don't think I should do this because every time I do this, I feel like this afterwards. It doesn't replenish me. I actually end up beating myself up a little bit more after doing it, which I want to stop doing. And you start having reasons and being able to reason with yourself, with your masculine, from that feminine past experience that you're looking back at. Doing that multiple times is breaking that spell. You can do that for addictions. You can do that for lifestyle changes. You can do that for habits. But you have to put that work in every time. You have to be able to stop yourself at some point and ask yourself these things like, why am I actually doing this? What is the true purpose of me doing this? What am I getting from this? What am I actually getting from this? Because you're receiving something from it. You can't deny that. What am I receiving from this? Well, I'm receiving instant gratification. That's cool. Does that gratification benefit you in the moment after? Not really. So I'm not going to do that. Is it lack of self love? Yes. It is. A lack of self love would be that. Because you need to look at it this way: there is no difference between loving someone else and self love, right? There's no major difference. If you would tell someone else, hey, stop doing that, you should be able to tell yourself, hey, stop doing that. If you're able to reason with someone else and talk them down from doing hysterical things, you should also be able to talk yourself down from doing things that are hysterical as well. It is a give and take. If you're giving to other people, but you're not taking what you're giving to other people as well, there's no benefit on your behalf, which is why many people end up being drained and you become people pleasers. And that lack of self-love of, oh, I'm not loving myself enough to push this forward more. You have your reasons on the external of why you need to do something, but there's something inside of you that's not being fueled properly or not allowing you to receive that love properly to keep moving forward in that way. And that's what people need to be able to see is why and what and who and when, all these questions. Because it's a cycle. You get this energy from the divine, and then from the divine realm, it becomes your willpower. And your willpower is given to you to your feminine, and your feminine says, will you do this? It does not say you have to do this. Will you do this? It doesn't say can, it says will you do this? It hits from your soul, it shoots down to your gut. Will you do this? I don't know. Let me ask my partner, the brain, what's going on. The brain gets it. Will I do this? Sure, I'll do it, but I can't because boom, boom, boom. It goes back down to the gut. It takes that trauma response of why you can't do these things. It gives reason for that, sends it back up to the brain. The brain talks to the heart. Hey, we can't do this because this, and that. The heart goes, okay, what will you do then? Or what will you do? What will are you creating now? Based off of what I just talked to with the gut, we're creating this. And the heart goes, okay, and gives you the energy that the divine gave you. It might not be enough, it might be too much, it might be just right. But that's the gamble that you're taking. You're taking the Goldilocks gamble every time you do that. You're playing monkey paw every time. You're playing devil advocate every time. Because you know deep down inside that doing these actions or doing this is what you need. Yet you allow the mind to push you forward to things that you know aren't going to work for you, or your gut is trauma bound because you won't release that trauma from your soul or from your spirit that you've experienced, and causes you to think of these things again. It causes that chemical imbalance. If you all didn't watch the video in my teachings playlist on YouTube, called "The Only Two Mental Diseases," I talk about how the gut plays a big role with your mental issues. When your acidic levels are too high, it causes anger. It causes disharmonious things. It causes an excess of energy that resonate with the excitement of frequency, but are then perverted into other forms. And when your acidic level is too low, it produces procrastination, slack, and sadness. So it's about gut health. When your gut and mind communicate, it's a huge thing. People need to understand this. I've talked about these things a lot, and getting back into it, it's important to bring that past up because it's like the information's there. You just need to know how it connects fully. And it's not like oh, this isn't for me. It's a literal human function that happens to everyone. Yeah, it's a pH level thing. It is. It truly is. When like and women know about this more than men do. So that's all I can say. Women know more about chemical imbalances and hormonal imbalances, which is really a chemical imbalance causing mood swings, causing issues within themselves. This is something that men don't really look at or know, but women know about this because it's a literal phase of life they go through. So look at how you feel and are when your periods are happening and your levels are all out of whack there. See that, compare it to how your moods are, and it starts to make more sense. I don't know how that process works, so I can't fully tell you. All I do know is that there is not a difference in the chemical response that you have there to your chemical response that you would have in day-to-day life, other than the extremities of it, right? It wouldn't be such of an instant response. It would be something that would have to be built up, or it would be something that would have reason from a call back and forth, rather than just a boom, I wake up, I feel like this, right? Because you would be able to be in that physical moment of feeling it fester up. Some would, some wouldn't. Again, I'm not 1000% sure. I'm not a woman, but I do know enough about how the pH level affects the mood and chemical imbalances to know, and also just visual and physical notices of my female friends being on their period and seeing how they mood swings happen, and being like, well, you on your period, your moods are swinging. It's a pH, it's a chemical imbalance, it's an aesthetic issue. So, hands up for that. But this is why it's important for women to start teaching this stuff because y'all have literal body mechanisms that explain these things so much better. And even men doctors are like, I don't know if I can talk fully about what's going on in a female body because at the end of the day, the female body is still such a mystery to man or the male gender due to not being able to experience the literal changes that happen. So taking time to study that for yourself will actually do a lot more benefit for you. And it may, I'm not saying that it will, but it may even increase um mood behavior, like behaviorals or moods when on periods, because your mind would now know and have that knowledge of this is why this is happening and that's why that's happening. So it would be less inclined to be uh hit. Then again, I'm not too sure because again, chemical imbalances exist and sometimes they just so rapid and crazy that it overpowers the mind and it's like, well, whatever. You know? I've had women tell me about that too. So regardless, it's about that gut health. A lot of men, I'm going to say it this way because it's true. A lot of men are upset because they're obese. They got too much acid running around their system. This is coming from someone that does not have a gallbladder anymore. My gallbladder was literally removed because it was glued to my stomach due to how much acid was pouring out of it. I know how mad having random acid in your stomach makes you feel. When my gallbladder was removed, my mood went from like being like pissed off like a lot to not even feeling anger. Well, being agitated is a more correct term than being pissed off. It would still take a lot for me to be pissed off, but agitation was like super easy. I don't get agitated that easy now. So I know I know about that feeling. So it's important to see like how all these things connect. How that twin individual, which your masculine is not, because it's your feminine that is that pure state of heart, and then your split of masculine and feminine resides in the mind with the intuitive consciousness, the feminine, uh, the left side, and then the rational, physical, materials brain or the right side, the right hemisphere of the brain, and your gut has both the feminine and masculine, the feminine being the acidic level and the masculine being the bacteria that affects that as well. It's also if your stomach bacteria is all fucked up, your mood fucks up too, because that causes your digestion to go in one way that causes all sorts of stuff. So breaking it down in that way for people as well. So that it's like where's the gut then? Is the gut just asexual? Like no, the gut the gut has its own has the same too. It's the heart that is purely feminine. And when it brings that message to the mind acts as solely a masculine element. That intuition or the intuitive aspect of it comes from the heart speaking to the mind. That's why we have a left and a right hemisphere of a brain, and then a left brain and a right brain. Having a full left brain would be a feminine brain. Having a whole right brain would be a masculine brain. And that's why dolphins are literally the way they are. They have holes of the feminine and a hole of the masculine that dictate and move them. They have the whole aspect of it. So they on a different wavelength than us. That's why we don't understand them that much. We gotta study them a lot because we're missing literally a whole half, if you want to say it that way, of them. Oh, they're never going to teach you this in church. This is the stuff that the churches ended up killing people over back in the old days to keep people from really connecting to themselves because they wanted power by giving them a false god and stuff. But and that's a whole other subject. We're not going to jump into that. I'm not saying that gods are false, but I will say that religions give a false image of God. A lot of them do because that image of God doesn't and shouldn't exist because it says not to, but they do it anyway. But they say not to do it because then when you start to make an image of God, you start to see what God really is and blah blah blah. Like I said, I'm not getting into it. It's different conversation for different times. I don't believe in anything. I'll answer that question now. I am a seeker, so belief is not something that I believe in. For twin flames, You are your twin flame. You are your twin flame. You are just as much of an opposite to yourself as you are uh an even. You will say that you don't want it. You will literally be the internal twin flame to yourself that you would experience on the external. That's the whole twin flame loop. Instead of doing that internal healing, you then look outside like, oh, I need someone on the outside. I need a twin flame. I'm on a twin flame journey. Your twin flame journey is an internal journey, and if it's not actualized, then yes, another person can come to you, and then when you two interact energies together, it then acts out differently. That's the big illusion of it. Can you have a physical twin flame on the physical? For sure. Do you need them? No. Would you want them? Depends on who you are. But when you have that full connection with yourself to where you're not depending on that external source to show you what you're internally doing to yourself, then you end that journey. You realize how much pain that you're causing yourself when you realize this, because one aspect you feel physically and mentally because you're experiencing it externally, and the other half you're not seeing all that damage because it's an internal process. You're not seeing how damaged your mind becomes. You're not seeing all this stuff because then you're like, well, my heart's still telling me that it's okay, so it's okay, right? No, the heart will tell you things aren't fine, but your mind will pull up reasons for why it is and convince you otherwise. Same as a twin flame. I don't agree that my twin flame was cheating on me with someone else. Well, your heart didn't agree with you cheating yourself out of an opportunity that you were desiring and choosing something else instead. But you weren't seeing that. You weren't allowing yourself to go through that healing process of seeing maybe I should stop hurting myself in this way, because your mind won't recognize it as being hurt because of that lack of self-love or that lack of self-acceptance, however, that lack of awareness within self. So then you have to be made aware, and it shocks your system. It fucks your system up. It fucks your mind up. Why do I gotta do an interactive thing on TikTok now? Hold on, what the fuck? Hold on, this is stupid. They said I've been on for too long, talking to zero people. No, but it fucks your system up. It gives you a shock. That shock is your wake up call. That shock is saying, "Hey, you've been doing this stuff to yourself forever, but you don't know that yet." And the other person might not know either. But you know what makes you all different? You know why all the tarot readers say that, "Oh, you're the innocent one"? Because you're the one that's supposed to be the heart. You are the one that's receiving these things. Even though you did actions, you received it and you felt it. And your heart is the aspect of self that creates feelings. So you felt all that. That's your wake up call. Oh shit, this is how my heart feels. But my brain won't let me feel it. So I gotta experience it physically. And when I experience it physically, it don't make me feel good. So why would I do this to myself? That's the point of the twin flame journey, is to show you. And hell, maybe sometimes your twin flame becomes a heart too. They start seeing they heart more, like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. So then you both heal. But one of you is the brain, the other one is the heart on a physical, um, metaphorical sense. But that's why all that stuff happens in that way. It really breaks down to knowing what these things are and seeing it. And again, no one's going to teach you these things. You'd be surprised how much money people would actually lose. And this is another thing I'm going to point out. A lot of people don't talk about it because they don't know. Do not make me, when I say these things, do not just assume that everyone's evil and oh my god, they're all scammers. Some of these people do not fucking know. Because if they knew better, they would do better. Some people wouldn't. You can tell a judge of character of someone, and ignorance is just a awful, awful disease that people have. So give them grace as much as you're giving yourself grace. You know, you can't just go out here and say all of these people. No, some people genuinely don't know. They genuinely 1000% have no damn idea. I mean, I've talked to people that when I've explained stuff to them, they cried. I've literally come to realizations on my own through this journey and ended up crying because like, damn, I didn't know I was doing this. What the fuck? Yeah. When you don't know, you don't know. When you do know, it hits you differently. If you're gonna sit in denial, that's a whole other aspect of it. If you're gonna deny it, that's on you. So however that affects you and however that makes you feel and however that makes you be seen and whatever, that's all on you because you wanted to deny it. But when you accept it and you feel whatever you put out, that's when it changes. That's when you're able to go, oh shit. Like damn, I didn't see it like that. Or I didn't see you like that. You know. So giving grace. Don't let what I'm saying generalize things. That would be a fault of self. I do my best to clarify when I say stuff like this. I really do. Because again, it's stuff that though it helps, I can't just be like, yeah, tarot readers don't say this because they don't know. Now people will be like, well, if they should know, and now they're evil and scamming. No. And then I say people will lose a lot of money because if people did this work internally and they seen that projection, they wouldn't need that reading. They wouldn't need all those things to progress them forward. It puts you back into a state of sound self so that you would be able to self-soothe and then when needed go out and get that help rather than wanting that assistance 24/7. But again, that's not what we're getting at. That's not the big point. The point truly is just that awareness and how you move out with that awareness. That's the important part. I'm a Libra. I'm one of the fucking weirdest Libras you'll meet. I'm not like the rest of these fucking masculine Libras. I'll tell you that right the fuck now. I got a perfect polarity 50-50 down the fucking middle of feminine and masculine. I'm unlike any Libra you've ever met in your life. I'll tell you that right now. 50, literally my modality 50 feminine, 50 masculine. I am unlike, I am, you want to talk about balance? You're looking at balance right the fuck now. It might not seem like it, but trust me, I've done that work. My chart prove it, my whole body prove it. It's funny. But truly, when you sit down, I do have Leo in North Node though, so you're not wrong. So this is literally what Leo and Libra and Leo looks like, I guess. At least my perspective of it, or my whatever the word would be for it, my output for it is. So I'll say that too. But regardless, it's important to know these things though, because a lot of confusion comes from self. And when you're confused and you go out to seek help in this world, especially online, especially online, there are a lot of confused people online. There are a lot of people that are confused because they're online, and there's a lot of people that went online due to confusion. And there's a lot of people that went online to spread confusion. It is pretty wild at times. You're not wrong. I'm not gonna lie to you. It really is. But it's that aspect of knowing, like, just ask questions. You can ask yourself a question and get an answer really quick when you're not confused. But if you're talking to someone who is confused, ask them a question. Do not judge. Okay, here's a big thing. Don't just judge off how someone speaks. Maybe they stutter. Maybe they get their tongue tied a little bit too much. You got to ask questions. If they know what they're talking about, they will be able to break it down and continually break it down until it makes sense. Unless they say, I don't know how else to break it down. Does that mean they don't know how to do it? No. That's where that experience comes in from asking a question. That's why I tell people, ask me questions. If I don't have the answer, I will be the first person out loud to blurt, I don't know. Will that make me feel happy? Not really, but at least I won't be lying to you, so I feel better about myself and about giving information out because I'm not going to just act like I know some shit. I will look stuff up damn midstream. Like I did this morning. I looked up this rising, the word rose, the name Rose. I had no idea Rose was a Germanic name that started in the fucking in the when the fuck did it say? In like the middle times, the mid ages. I didn't know that till today. But then you go and people probably say Rose is American name. Or shit, maybe even like France. And it does come from France. But it originated in Germany in the Middle Ages. And then got brought to France. Well, it originated in Latin and then German and then France and then Old English and English. That's what we found out today on live. Because you have teachers online that want to be preachers and just preach to you about shit that they don't know about, things that they don't study within life. And then you have people selling you courses for thousands of damn dollars for shit that doesn't tell you anything. And then they give you, like, here's a free sample. This free sample doesn't tell me anything either. What the fuck are you all trying to give people out here? It's scary out in the spiritual world because no one knows what the fuck's going on. No one has the balls to say the truth. And when you do say the truth, it's met with so much confusion because of all the lies. It's like, what is going on? And then you're asked, like, how is this the truth? Have you experimentated with it? Have you tested it? They know they want you confused. They working with the damn devil. Sometimes I really do feel like I'm one of the fucking only people on YouTube talking about shit that don't work for the damn devil. I know that's a lie because I know that's just what my brain has been doing, but it don't make sense to me. Because I look at people and I'm like, I know you're smarter than this. I know you're 1,000 times smarter than this, but you're choosing to do this. Why? What inside you make it you're choosing this? What inside of you is making you choose this? Explain and expose yourself before I do by asking you a direct question that's gonna fucking make you either mad or confused or both. I know they make money draining from fear. I say I don't know because I refuse to understand or to relate or to agree with it. I will agree that it's a disagreeable act. I will agree that it is something that they are doing that is not right, but I will not agree to do something like that. I can't, I won't. I'm not built like that. I have integrity. I ain't gonna be lying out here. If I know something that's gonna change people's lives because it's changed my life, I'm gonna do my best to study and learn how to do this shit. And it'd be baffling to me. It'd be adults. It'd be my elders. Not my like birth elder. I'm talking just about age. My elders out here doing this shit. And it's like, I'm supposed to look up to you? Fuck you. How about that? I'm not looking up to you. Go to hell. Because I would never look up to anyone like you. What the fuck's wrong with you? It baffles me. And then I got to remember that's why in African cultures, way back when, in the native cultures, the children were the natives, the babies. Before they hit the age of 5, they were considered elders. And then at the age of really before that, they were given rituals to see if what spirit they carried. And then if they carried the right spirit, they were seen as elders. But all children up to a certain age were considered elders because they were pure, and that the age was 5. Because up until the age of 5, you do not know right from wrong. When you hit 5, that's when you start knowing your rights and wrongs, and that's when you can tell what spirit is inside you. A lot of them don't know, but a lot of them like to proclaim that they do know. And they stand up on some form of pedestal and they bang their chest like a damn gorilla, like they know some shit. And then that's where I have to draw the line. I'm not going to let anyone like that be an elder. Be an elder and say you don't know. Be an elder and say, that you were wrong. Be an elder and take accountability. Don't be no elder out here banging. I've seen people. I have heard it, if they haven't shown their face on camera, bang on their chest like a fucking gorilla when they saying shit. What's wrong with you? That is not passion. That is war. That's a war drum technique by the damn gorillas that they used. What are you doing? That don't prove you strong. You're hitting your heart. You're trying to resuscitate yourself. What the fuck are you doing? You hit someone's chest to resuscitate, to like cut off their heart, right? What are you doing? You're trying to turn off your heart doing that? Do you not see what you're doing? I don't know what the fuck's wrong with these people. It bothers me that I see this shit. And I'm not like these other people. I look at them and I'm like, what are you doing? And I love them. That's the part that pisses me off the most. It's like I love it. I say pisses me off. It agitates me. I love them. And they just don't. Thank you for that computer notification. They don't fucking get it. I don't got notifications on my computer, by the way. I don't know why the fuck that noise just happened. But I know everyone heard that. I don't know why the fuck they do it. But they do. And I don't want an excuse. I want a reason. Them being wounded, that's an excuse. You should be healing from this shit. Especially if you're going to be teaching people about some shit. You should be able to heal from this. What's wrong? Why ain't you healing from it? What are you benefiting from this? Because I'm not blind, I'm not stupid. People do things for a benefit. You don't do things because you see bad in it. You do it for a benefit of good, whether for a good for yourself or good for others or a mix in between. What's your benefit? That's a direct damn question. And a lot of people will not answer that damn question because they're doing it for damn money. I love you all so much. No, you don't. You love their fucking money. That's all you love. You don't love these people because if you love these people, you would have the common courtesy to at least guide them in some right shape and not waste their time. It don't make sense to me. I get it. Run the hustle. Run them streets. I'm not part them streets. I thought we were supposed to be saying fuck the streets. Get them kids off the streets. But we still putting them back on. You putting your inner child back on the streets for some reason. That's what I gotta say. Because there's a difference. There's a big difference. And I get the whole point of we're all learning. I get that the point that we're all evolving. But why are you, as someone with any form of influence, not doing better to learn, to educate others? Why are you gatekeeping things? So they're not ready for it. Well, how do you know? Have you just talked about it? Whoever's not ready for it, they'll leave. Oh, they will take their own accord and leave. Or they will expose themselves, show that they're not ready, and then leave on that accord too. They will find their way out. It's not about, oh, they're not ready. No, you're not fucking ready yet. That's the problem. There's a disconnect between you and yourself. You're not ready yet. You can't convince you convincing yourself that you're not ready. You not knowing that you is ready because that's why you got that idea. The only thing that's not ready is a plan. You don't want to sit down and plan this stuff out. You don't want to sit down and actually do the effort. You don't want to sit down and deal with, oh, I'm gonna lose this, I'm gonna lose that. I don't give a fuck. Because I'm right there with them. I'm right there in that process. I know what you're gonna lose. Shit, I've already lost it before. Why do you think? How the hell do you like? What do you think happened? Why do you think I was homeless for 2 damn years? I should have only been homeless for 1 year. I flipped the script and said, no, I'm gonna start doing it this way. I lost over fucking 10,000 subscribers. Bounced back. Now I'm changing again, losing more. I don't give a fuck. It's called evolution. It's called I'm trying to actually help people, and I gotta sacrifice something. Well, I gotta sacrifice. I gotta sacrifice what the fuck I'm gonna make. I gotta sacrifice having people. I gotta sacrifice how much money I'm gonna make at the end of the damn month. I gotta find new ways. I gotta get new passions in. That's it. If you raised in the streets for real, you should know the hustle don't stop. The grind don't stop. You better find a new damn grinding stone to get your ass on and stop grinding up against these people and figure some shit out. Not everyone born to do the hustle, and I get that. But you gotta know how to do something. You can't just be that one trick pony forever, because what happens when that pony dies? Now what? Because I'm telling you, especially if these people that they booking on doing one type of readings and whatnot, wait till that dies out. People are like that's never gonna die out. That's gonna die out. The way tarot's being read is gonna die out. People are gonna get more and more and more and more pissed off of hearing the same bullshit every damn day. And more and more and more and more people are gonna get pissed off of saying the same shit every day. And because they don't want to move forward, they're gonna devolve into one of those other paths. Oh, that thing's still making money. I'll do this instead. Or are they gonna keep doing the same damn thing because they a robot for real? They don't know nothing else. It's crazy. But people gotta get ready for this shit. Because it's gonna happen. And when it do happen, and it's not gonna be pretty. It's gonna be a lot of confusion. It's gonna be a lot of confusion. You can't blame the devil when you be working with the devil. Unknowingly or knowingly, hands up go on that too. Because you just gotta know what you're doing. What are you feel? If you're outputting something and you don't like it, why are you doing it? Because the devil telling you to. Because the devil trying to waste your damn time. Maybe that devil is a mental thing. Maybe that devil is a physical thing. I don't know. You gotta look at it yourself. I can't tell you. You can, however, come to me for a reading so we can break that shit down. So we can tell you what the hell's going on. Other than that, you gotta do that work on your own. It's important to know how to do that work on your own because you're not gonna be around people all the time who can help you with that shit. It's important to know these damn skills. Because what happened when you don't have access to the things that you have access to now? And you gotta figure this stuff out on your own. You gotta be able to be that rock for yourself. Even if you do stick with believing and having faith, that's not my problem. That's none of mine. Do what gets you through life. I don't care. I'm just here to tell truth. I don't care. I don't live your life. I can't tell you one thing's not gonna work. If it's been working for you, awesome. Just know some truth along with it. and move accordingly to how you want to move with it. I don't care how you do. I don't care if you throw the truth, if you throw what I'm telling you away in the damn trash can and never listen to me again. I don't care if you sit around and listen to me all the time. That's on you because that's only changing you. That ain't changing me. I could give two shits. I could be talking like on TikTok. I've been having zero damn viewers. I don't even fuck. I don't even care. The 27 people in here could just disappear right now. I'd still be talking this way because it's gonna reach someone. Does that now? That's not to say that I don't value y'all's time being here, which is why I talk about things that matter. It's just saying, even without that, I would still be doing this because it's just what someone needs. Hell, it's what I need so that I can make more reason with it for myself because it's shit that I do day to day. At the end of the day, and at the beginning of the sun rising, you just got to know where you're at. You have to know where you're at. You have to know where you're at. You cannot just sit around in that same energy, and you definitely don't want to wait till God get a hold of you and wake you up, because then you really gonna be fucked up. Then it's really gonna be like, ah, shit. Because now what? Now what? Now the father has to put his hand on you and like wake the fuck up. Now you real fucked up because now shit really gonna be fucked up. And that's not to scare. That's just the damn truth. I know there's a lot of people. There's probably some people in here who's had that wake up call where God said, "Hey, look, I'm about to do this for your benefit." And that's all you gotta know. We've all had cards since birth. The hand you dealt is the hand you create with. The two hands you have at the end of your arms are the cards that you've been dealt. What are you creating? How are you playing around? Your imagination counts. Did you catch that? Did you follow? Do you see the cards now? Can you count them? Everyone's given shitty cards. Ain't not one person on this earth have a perfect life. There be people that are born into millionaire families want to kill themselves because they don't like living that way. That's not perfect. That's horrendous. No one should be living like that. But yet they is. They people that born with one arm, missing half they face and shit. That's an awful damn card. You know what I mean? Be grateful for what you have. Your imagination counts those cards though. I do personal readings, yeah. It's a flat rate of $80 for under an hour. They're phone call readings. And if you need any more time, it is 10-minute, $10 per 10 minute. Or I think it was $20 per 20 minute. I have to go look back at it's in my website. If you go to my website and go to audio calls, all the information for readings is there. But I do personal readings. But your imagination's how you move with those cards. Your imagination is a powerful damn tool. Your imagination is, funnily enough, intuition. Your imagination is images coming together. What does a nation do? What is an image? Speaks 1,000 words. What are the words that you hear? Your intuition. It's what you're inputting. It's what's going into and creating more from that. Discounts for the port underprivileged. That's what these things are. That's what these things are. Because you will get more out of. I wouldn't say that. This is your time to ask those questions, though. Not all questions need cards. I will tell you that. I can answer a lot of questions without needing cards. If you have a question, you can always ask it. You don't have to pay money to ask a question. I'm not like one of those people. But when I do those fundraiser streams, that's for a cause. That's because I have shit that I need to get done. That's because I got bills that I gotta pay too. And unfortunately, YouTube don't like me talking. They've never liked me talking since day fucking one. Since day one being on this side, I've had issues. It don't matter what side I go to. They don't like hearing my damn voice. They don't like hearing me talk about this shit. Cause like, oh, you're gonna ruin the business. I don't give a fuck what I'm ruining. Well, Leviathan's gonna come back. He's gonna kill a bunch of damn people. They're gonna be a bunch of people not even knowing where the hell they're gonna go. A lot of people are gonna be left and crying in their hands and on their hands and knees crying. Why did God forsaken me? I don't fucking know because no one else was telling the truth. That's why, truly. But I don't know why you had to believe those lies. I don't know why you followed them lies. That's something that you gotta ask yourself. I don't. I want. I'm just trying to help people. I'm doing what angels are supposed to fucking do. I don't know what I don't know what these other people are doing. My father ain't ever told me to do half the shit these other people doing. Now, did he let me go down that path? For sure. Did I end up popping right up into a devil's lair once or twice? Hell yeah, I 1000% did, and it was to learn. This is what you doing to people. This is what you're attributing to. Is this what you want to do? No, I see a problem with it actually, and that problem ain't got nothing to do with what I'm gaining. It's what I'm seeing people lose. I ain't cool with that. And he said, okay, cool. Go move forward on this. Follow this path. I don't know if I can because every time I try, if I talk about these things, they're going to reject me. They will always reject you. Just talk about it. I literally have talks with God like this. I don't think y'all understand. There are times I've cried talking to God. I don't know why the fuck I'm even doing this. What is the point if it's not going to be heard? It will. Things are going to be fine. Just keep doing this. Yeah, how am I actually gonna get paid for this shit? Don't worry about getting paid for it. You know I got your back. And then I gotta pick myself up and keep moving. It's rough out here. I ain't I'm gonna be fucking real with it. It's rough. That don't mean nothing though. It's only rough because there's something inside of me trying to prevent me from doing it. That's my daily struggle with the devil. I'ma beat his ass every damn time he pop around though. Because I'm not gonna fall down and forget what I came here to do. That's one thing for sure. Two things for damn certain. I go homeless again gladly just because I'm speaking truth. Fuck this. And I stand on that too. I'd rather tell the truth and be homeless than tell a lie and have a damn house. I don't give a fuck. I don't give two damns. Test me on that one. Don't. You already is testing me on it for real. I don't even gotta say test me on it. I'm living that test. But regardless, it's my path. I'm walking it, and I would not give it up because no one else is walking it. It's a terrifying path. Oh, listen, the devil a truther. The devil will tell you the truth way before he tell you a lie. He'll just tell you a truth on something that you aren't aware of, though. In the sense of the devil will tell you, hey, you know, you're not actually going to suffer 100% if you do this. And you're right. You're not going to suffer 100%, but you're going to suffer 99.9%. He's sly with it. That's all. He got that forked tongue. He'll tell you the truth, but split it up. So you really gotta sit and think. Oh, fewer than you would think. Fewer than you are would you ever think are walking this path. You either A, don't see them, or B, when you do see them, you don't trust them. And I understand why you don't trust them. I look around and I see what the fuck's going on. It's like I wouldn't trust shit either. And then to be told that it's been you the whole time after all that confusion, it's like, why would I even listen to you? You just sound like you're coming at me. No, no, I don't even know who you are, so why would I come for you? Because I've had people in the past do that. Have you? Or has that just been a lie? I just gotta make sure. I'm not trying to disprove or say that's wrong or say that what you've experienced is a lie or whatever. I just want to make sure you know what's going on. What's wrong with people? A lot. First, we'll start with genetics, and I'll keep it that way for real. People don't want to talk about that though. That's a touchy ass subject. That's a touchy subject for a lot of people. Some people cannot help it. It's a genetic issue. They literally, it is just who they fucking are. And that's not an excuse. It's a literal DNA genetic issue. You can go all the way back to their RNA and find it in their RNA. It's an issue. And then that make people mad. It's well, if it's that, then you shouldn't get mad at me for it. Oh, I can. Because just as when you eat food and you change your DNA, when you change your brain patterns, you change your DNA. What age did I have my true awakening? When I was around this age of 13. I had an awakening that I was not able to digest properly when I was 7 because I opened my third eye in Florida. I was playing some fucking like mobile MMO RPG game on my phone, and in the chat, someone was saying, "Open up your third eye before it's too late." And I typed in that chat, "What is a third eye?" And someone else said, "Don't listen to him. It's a bunch of bullshit." He went to go explain what it was. It was a chakra. Told me to go look up certain frequencies and stuff. So I literally got off that game, did a meditation, zipped the fuck out my body instantly, came back to, and my whole world was fuzzy. And I was like, what the fuck did I just do? I went back, I talked to that person some more. We talked for like an hour after that, and I never, like his message history and everything got deleted. Like his account basically got deleted. I don't know if he deleted it or it was like a system thing. I'm not too sure. I just know his account wasn't existing anymore after that. And then after that moment, I was doing a lot of research on my own on spirituality, stuff like that. My abilities kicked in. I seen ghosts a lot growing up. I always talked to them. I messed with Ouija boards when I was really young. And I learned really quickly not to. I learned how to mess with. I learned not mess. I learned how to take care of graveyards and talk to graveyard spirits and cemetery spirits at a very young age. I've been very connected with the dead. Um, and in more of a healing than a abusive way. I never really, after learning all of it, I've never really wanted to mess with it again. You will never catch me really doing anything with like the dead or a spirit because I don't want my body open to any form of spirit because I don't, it's not what I want. And don't call yourself a late bloomer. You bloomed at the right time. If it was any earlier, I don't think you would have been able to handle it. Do you think you would have been able to handle it if it happened any earlier? I'm 26. I'm 26 right now. I've been on this path for a long damn time, and it's not been fun. It has not been something lovely. I had no childhood. I know people say that a lot. I had none. Physically, emotionally, spiritually, none. It was awful. Would I trade it for anything? No, because I would not be. I would not have the mindset or the strength I have now if I did. I'm talking about people pulled up at my house trying to like attack me and my family because I told someone, I don't understand why you get so upset at death because it happens to everyone. It's not like a big thing, it's a transition point. And I had people pulling up to my house threatening to beat me up and kill me. That's the type of shit I was dealing with. So I really had to buckle down and be like, people just don't fucking know. And I don't get why they don't know. Why don't they just open up their eyes and see? It's like so obvious in front of them. Why don't they just see it? It's they can't. Same reason why certain people have glasses and other people don't. They just their eyes ain't working. It's not my fault. Hell, it's really not even their fault. Even when they say they don't want to do the work, is it really their fault? How do we know that it's not a spirit inside them that they ain't still that they possessed by? They can't get rid of it. Maybe they not strong enough to get rid of that possession, and no one gonna believe them, and they too scared to speak. It's their fault for not speaking, but is it their fault for not having anyone around them to believe in them? Is it their fault truly for not being motivated enough to keep moving forward when they don't know how to be motivated? When they never had people to motivate them? When their own parents turned them down and shit? Nah. But you should be able to see and learn from other people and not get jealous. Is that they fault that they don't know how to do that? No, they don't know how not to. If they knew how not to do it, they would do it. I just don't know why I don't like Stephanie though. Like, why don't you like Stephanie? I just don't know. I just something about it. I just don't know why. That's something inside of you. Check that out. I don't have to. I don't want to. Then don't complain about not knowing why you don't like that person. Then I've done the work. I don't care enough to delve back into it. If there's something that I'm genuinely confused about, I will do 1000% do work for it and figure it out. I'm not like these other people, and it confuses me. Only confuses me because I don't want to sit down and think about it. Because I shouldn't have to sit down and think about it. I should already just automatically click with it. But again, it's like something that I do mentally that I still feel that I still work with day to day. Is why do I just break it down to I don't know when I do know? Why don't I just explain it to myself? That's my little thing. But and then I don't know, man. It just be so crazy. It's the online sickness. It's the argons, bro. But can you even fucking blame them? They just doing their job. Like, you know what I mean? They just doing their job. So why am I getting mad at them for doing their job? Oh, the devil got my cousin. He just doing his job for real. The devil just doing what he's supposed to be doing. You getting mad at him for doing his job? Damn. But leave the children alone. That's the big issue. Leave the children alone. Y'all started attacking the children. Y'all evil spirits start attacking the children. Now we got issues. We always had issues. We still trying to figure out them damn issues. But we just said leave the children alone. Y'all want us to keep attacking the children though for some reason. I don't know why. Y'all be spiritual pedophiles out here. I'm telling you. But people don't want to listen to that either. They say, how did they know? That's just crazy to think. It might be a little crazy to think that. But what else is it? Give me a better term. I will sit and wait. To this day, I have not got a better term for a lot of it. But that's the thing about the chakras. Your chakras are just your organs. Your chakras are just your organs. So if you got someone that's 4 times bigger inside of you, you're gonna need shit that checked out. That is some kind of spirit. I don't know if it's an angel, a demon, a seraphim, an oraphim, a cherubim. I don't know. But your chakras are your organs. Those things they call your higher chakras. I want you to do me a favor and measure out where they say this is so and so feet below you. What could possibly be doing that? You got energetic functions on your palms, on your knees, and on your feet. Do not let these people fuck with your auric field. Your chakras are your organs. People say, I've been using my third eye to see. No, you have not. You have been using your imagination. Your pineal gland is your third eye. It is a organ and it has its own functions to deliver information from one side of the brain to the other. That's all. What are you seeing with your third eye? What is your third eye? Your third eye sees the spiritual, does it really? Because I can see the spiritual with my physical 2 eyes. So let's talk about that. What are you using to see? And if you can use it to see, tell me how to see through it. What if your third eye was just your 2 physical eyes coming together in agreement, and that was just how vision worked? You just add your imagination, you add your spiritual senses to it. And people want to go, that's my clairs and stuff. No, those are part of your human senses, your spiritual senses. What are you sensing spiritually? Not feeling wise. Your feelings aren't as spiritual as you would think. Your feelings are more electrical than spiritual. But this is getting into a whole topic where people start get a little bit crazy on me. And the difficult to get across that I feel that. But no, like really, you gotta focus on those things. And then when you focus on them, realize what you're doing. When people say your solar plexus, where was your umbilical cord connected to physically? Your navel, your belly button. That's where your solar plexus is, right? What else is connected to your belly button? Well, isn't that your silver cord that spiritually connects you so that when you die physically, that spiritual cord snaps and then you go to the spiritual realm? Yeah, same thing. That's where you're getting your nutrients from. You divined from mother, your physical mother, so that you can live a physical life. And until you are aware of your spiritual essence, sometimes it happens at death, sometimes it happens before. Depends on who you are. You are unable to snap that cord. And that cord stays intact until you die. And then when you die, it's snapped. Not near death, but when you actually die. So that's an experience you can't have more than once. And it's like, well, I've lived multiple lives. You have not lived multiple this life. You've only lived once this life. Because how can you be dead and then brought back to life? It's called a near death experience. For you to be totally dead, you would not have your spirit or your soul in your body to be resuscitated. The only way you can come back is if your spirit has not left your body. When your spirit leaves, that cord cuts. that silver cord cuts, and then you are gone. Until then, you are still living. That's why it's called near death. But people want to feel glorified and special. Because I had a near death experience when I was 5. And I remember going in and out. I cracked my forehead open, all the way open. And I was blacking in and out. I remember hitting the concrete, going black, waking up in my dad's truck, him screaming bloody murder that I woke up, told me not to go back to sleep, went back to damn sleep. Woke up in the hospital, went back to bed in the hospital. I didn't die. I lost consciousness. That doesn't mean I didn't stop breathing. I didn't die. I just had a near death experience. And then I woke up on my couch 3 days later. Then I woke up on my couch in my house 3 days later. I don't know how or why. I don't know if I was in the hospital the entire time or if I was floating around, but I woke back up on my couch. Like nothing happened. I had a Elmo sticker on my forehead. I had to go to school. My mom was like, "Don't let anyone take this band-aid off your forehead." I said, "Why not?" Because you still healing. I said, "What happened?" Like, don't don't worry about what happened. Don't you remember you cracked your head open? I said, "No, I don't remember that actually. Thanks for fucking reminding me." I didn't say that because I was like 5, 6 years old. I remember being on the bus and some kid ripping the band-aid off, and I got pissed off because my mom's gonna be mad at me now because I don't have a band-aid on my head. And my head started bleeding. And then it became a whole issue. I remember that whole thing like it was yesterday, dog. That shit was funny as hell. The belly button is what gives you life. It's where you receive your nutrients from when you're in your mommy's womb. I don't know why I decided to say it like that, but I did. But look, it's biology. I'm not even joking. Like when you study your chakras, you're studying biology and how energy is transmuted and transfused and transformed from one aspect of the body to the next. And how certain organs store certain emotions and certain moods. There's a video I did that's also in the teachings playlist on this channel that talks about the moods and chakras and how whenever you feel certain things, different chakras are in act, and not every like all the chakras are connected for sure, but different chakras can shut down different other chakras, or different parts of your body can shut off other parts of the body if they're not getting a proper flow. Because if you're not exercising your throat chakra or talking a lot, you'll become self-conscious, and that turns down your crown, and then your third eye, and then your root, and then your solar plexus. But you're left with an overactive sacral because you want to be heard, or you don't want to be heard, so then your sacral shuts off because your desires are gone. But those are all organ. Those are all organs. Because for anything to have life in this living realm, it needs to have blood or something that can carry an electrical current, which blood does that. At least for us. No, it's for everyone. Yeah, archons can definitely control your organs, dude. Like I'm not saying that even sarcastically. I'm being serious. I'm just stretching. Just think about it. What are advertisements? Your archons are anything that rule stuff on the physical realm. So like your zodiacs, your advertisements, your medias, your music and stuff. All those affect your organs, dude. The food that you consume, food, archons rule that. The GMOs, the chemicals and shit, that fucks up your organs, your chakras, your energy flows. It fucks up your DNA. It does all sorts of stuff. But people need to be aware of it. Not be aware of it and then be scared and I don't know what to do now. Just exercise. Clean yourself. Damn. I don't know everything. So I can't sit here and tell you what herbs to clean your blood with. Go find an herbalist. How do I know if my herbalist is honest? Go look at their content. If they actively posting content telling you, hey, this is what you can eat, that's what you can't eat. This is what you need for this is what you need for that, and they know they stuff, and you feel comfortable enough to reach out to them, reach out to them. You know what I mean? You got to rebuild that trust by trusting yourself because intuitively you know what to do, or inspirationally by your own self, you know exactly what to do for yourself and how to live your body. That's why you eat certain things and other people don't. But will you take that leap to actually trust yourself enough? It's not even just that. I will talk about things more than other people will. I don't know that much in the grand scheme of things. But I am more open to talk about it and to get to a damn point than most. Well, the only thing inside of your body that can be possessed is your spirit. The rest of those possessions are bacteria. So if someone got possessed and it's like my possessions in my stomach, you got bacteria in your stomach that's controlling you. I got bacteria in my thyroids. The you got I mean I got possession in my thyroid. You got bacteria up in your thyroids that are fucking up your whole body and then your brain picking up on it. It's all parasites. When you look at old manuscripts of demons, it's parasites. When you look at sigils, it's electrical nodes and electrical composites. That's all. It's parasites that do these things. You gotta cleanse your system of parasites. Not all parasites are physical, some parasites are mental. There are things that you do day to day that drain your mental. So it's not just about physically cleaning yourself, it's about mentally cleaning yourself. It's about spiritually cleansing yourself because again, we're in a spiritual world. So even though your body might be clean, they could be a demon that want to go into a clean ass vessel just to dirty it up again. You got to make sure your spirit's clean. You got to be careful out here. You know, you do got to be careful. You have to like re-shelter yourself, really. Because I know a lot of people like I wish I wasn't sheltered as a child. I fucking wish I was more sheltered as a child. I'm gonna be real. Because looking back at it, mm, yeah, if I was just more sheltered as a child, I would have less issues now. And I'm not even talking physical issues. I'm talking internal because I was being protected from all those things that would have fucked up my internal. But here we is. I gotta parent myself now. That's how it is. You gotta parent yourself at certain points. When you get down and dirty with it, or down and clean with it, I should say, you should definitely clean it. Don't get it dirty or get clean. Obviously, But yeah, that's all I got. That is all I got. It is 3 o'clock in the damn morning. No, it's not. Yes, it is. I gotta go to bed. It's fucking 3 o'clock in the morning. Mm. Shit, I got work to do tomorrow. Today. I got shit I gotta do today. I always be yawning. I've been a yawn machine for a minute. But I'm gonna head out. Thank y'all for being here. Thank y'all for the support. If you have any questions about services or readings or whatever, email me. My email's in the description. I'll get you settled away. Please don't try to purchase stuff off the website because you can't. So if you go to it, it's just a visual guide. You can't. It's not hooked up to buy anything from. So you can't really do that right now. I'm working on getting a site that actually works, though. But I love you all truly. Thank you for being here. Hadus, oh, a peace in the Lamb is truly wonderful, or has been truly wonderful. Hadus Ashok Wadu.